So Blake Lively believes she's doing the right thing. Apparently, according to People, she has no regret.
Blake Lively is spiraling fast after The Hollywood Reporter unleashed a brutal exposé revealing the chaos behind her on-set antics, and honestly, it was only a matter of time. That flawless facade is starting to crumble, and let's be real, she has no one to blame but her own manipulative instincts.
I've heard that Blake is devastated, which she should.
That carefully crafted image Blake's clung to for years? It's unraveling in real time. The glossy filter is gone, and what's left underneath isn't pretty, just cracks, contradictions, and a whole lot of damage control.
Next moment, she's like, oh no, she's carrying this burden for all the other victims out.
Blake Lively's Hollywood stronghold is collapsing, and yes, the meltdown is 100% happening. Forget the glam gowns and curated captions. This is a full-blown disaster, raw, messy, and made for popcorn consumption.
People magazine, everything there used to be so pro Blake Lively, and I think they had someone probably sitting there going through them and deleting the ones that were negative.
That dramatic stand she's taking? It's ringing a little hollow. Critics are calling out her so-called feminist outrage as a distraction tactic, one meant to pull focus from the real issue. Blake's alleged behind-the-scenes power plays on It Ends With Us.
She says he's been harassing her, and they bring in some team, and he says, whatever you want, I will do it or not do it, you tell me.
You know the type, the kind of diva energy that makes directors pop Advil like candy and has co-stars secretly begging their agents to pull them from the project. That's the Blake they're talking about now.
Negative press swirled around her during this whole, like a month, right? Later, she would describe this as though it was the pile-on against Trump. Honestly, it's like most of us, especially in Republican politics or the news, this is called Tuesday for us.
But hold up, enter Justin Baldoni, the unlikely co-star turned central figure in this Hollywood showdown. Blake's team has painted him as the chaos conductor, claiming the It Ends With Us set turned into a full-blown circus under his so-called leadership.
A little background on it, and then you will be obsessed with it. And I'll tell you, there's a reason why conservatives in particular are following this so closely. It makes sense to me. All right, so you know who Blake Lively is, right?
But Justin isn't here to play scapegoat. He's coming in swinging, with receipts. No spin, no theatrics, just cold, calculated pushback.
Baldoni did something very smart. He hired the lawyer who represented me in my fight with NBC News, which ended well.
And trust me, his version of events makes Blake's narrative wobble like a Jenga tower mid-collapse. The more he talks, the messier her defense starts to look.
We see the truth, or some of these, at least Baldoni's truth. We see the other side of it, and that, at least according to him, and many people believe this, that she was the aggressor pretending to be the victim.
First up, cultural insensitivity. Justin's team is calling Blake out over comments tied to his Baha'i faith. While Blake's PR machine cries a victim, Justin's side is calmly peeling apart her story, line by line. It's not a courtroom, but it sure feels like one, with publicists acting as lead counsel.
Funny how she goes back and forth a lot, and how she is like so happy and so like she doesn't care in photos, going on red carpets on SNL, baking donuts, and then the next moment it's like, oh, she's sad and she regrets things, and then the next moment she's like, oh no, she's carrying this burden for all the other victims out there.
Now about Blake's victim arc, she's cast herself as a fearless advocate for women in Hollywood, boldly confronting sexism and toxic workplaces. Sounds noble, right? There's just one problem, the receipts say otherwise.
The actress, who is mom of daughter James and Inez and Betty, plus son Olin, with husband Ryan Reynolds, has her children's best interests prioritized through the legal process.
Justin's team didn't show up empty-handed. They came armed with emails, texts, eyewitness accounts, time-stamped everything. It's the kind of surgical precision that would make actual trial attorneys take notes.
So much going on in this world. I won't talk about all the serious stuff going on in this world because I think we have enough stuff to deal with that makes us depressed.
And then there's the Hollywood Reporter bombshell. That piece didn't hold back. It described Blake as a control addict whose obsessive micromanaging reportedly fractured nearly every working relationship on set.
told us that Justin Baldoni claims she tried to take over his movie because she has a history of saying, okay, I'll be the star, but what I secretly want to do is direct it and edit it and produce it.
Was she just aiming for excellence, or did she bulldoze boundaries? Depends who you ask. But one thing's clear, this wasn't your typical strong woman in charge scenario. And remember that cartoon Blake claimed was a sexist jab? Critics say her outrage skipped over the article's real meat: manipulation, contradictions, control. Almost like the cartoon was a smokescreen. Imagine that.
Anya, what does he say? Why is he suing them?
Justin Baldoni's response? A damage control masterclass. While Blake's camp clings to emotion and appeals for public sympathy, Justin's team is sticking to the cold, hard facts. It's a striking contrast, and it's swaying skeptics fast. Industry insiders are beginning to ask, is Blake really the empowered victim she claims to be, or just another PR tactician trying to steer the narrative? Either way, the fallout is brutal. Her image has taken a serious hit, and Hollywood is split. Some still hail her as a feminist force, but others see something far more calculated.
Instantly started spinning. I believe that they are going to be able to prove in court that this was personal. Ryan Reynolds versus Justin Baldoni, all of the evidence points.
And while Blake's brand crumbles, Justin Baldoni, once in the line of fire, is quietly regaining ground. As more receipts surface, his version of the story is gaining traction, reshaping the narrative in real time.
Women out there that are watching, no matter what you do in life, you never, ever, ever go full Amber Heard. The conclusion here, I have said this since before, long before this ever broke out between her and Justin Baldoni. Blake Lively is not a good person.
This isn't just another celebrity feud, it's a defining crossroads for both stars, with reputations on the line and no guaranteed winner. But one thing's undeniable, Blake Lively's meltdown has become the must-watch Hollywood drama of the year. So grab your popcorn. The curtain hasn't even dropped yet.
Told us that Justin Baldoni claims she tried to take over his movie because she has a history of saying, okay, I'll be the star, but what I secretly want to do is direct it and edit it and produce it. I want all the roles for me and only me. I want full control because I am a controlling bully.
Let's talk lawsuits, because nothing says I'm thriving quite like hauling someone into court. Blake Lively's legal crusade came wrapped in the language of justice and advocacy. But dig a little deeper, and it's giving PR stunt with a law degree.
Hired the lawyer who represented me in my fight with NBC News, which ended well. His name is Brian Friedman, and he's a legal genius. Highly recommend if you ever, God forbid. And Brian Friedman knows how to fight back against a bully.
This wasn't about righting wrongs. It was about damage control, rebranding Blake's image after the It Ends With Us disaster left it scuffed and smudged. A courtroom makeover disguised as moral high ground.
Blake Lively's claims that she was allegedly harassed by this guy when they shot the movie It Ends With Us, a film about domestic violence.
Blake cast herself as a modern-day Joan of Arc, protector of the mistreated, voice for the voiceless. But let's rewind the tape. This is the same woman who, while filming a story centered on abuse and survival, was also busy flogging gin and hairspray. The irony? Thicker than the proof in her liquor line. She said, let's center victims, then shouted, but first, don't forget to use my shine spray.
So negative press swirled around her during this whole, like a month, right? Later, she would describe this as though it was the pile-on against Trump. Honestly, it's like most of us, especially in Republican politics or the news, this is called Tuesday.
And then there's that so-called spontaneous New York Times exposé. The one she claimed came together overnight in a rush of emotion? Yeah. No. Metadata shows months of behind-the-scenes prep. Emails, drafts, calendar blocks, the whole production. Turns out it wasn't activism, it was content planning. Like claiming a midnight pizza binge was spontaneous, after preheating the oven and setting the table an hour in advance.
For you to do the opposite and just imply, again, more toxic crap and negativity about anything this man does must have been to seek pleasure? I mean, you were so full of yourself.
What's truly wild is how Blake's lawsuit plays more like a PR playbook than a legal battle. Her team didn't just file motions, they staged a spectacle. Think courtroom theater with hashtags, angles, and Instagram-ready soundbites. It feels less like a quest for justice and more like a rebranding campaign wrapped in legalese.
On Daily Mail where she looked sad. She was at this horse event, I think, for her daughter, and she looked kind of sad. I don't know if that was the reason that people started saying that she regretted this whole feud because it was coming from some sources, but now People magazine is saying she does not regret.
Then came the aftermath. Cue the Daily Mail, stage left, with a full spread of sad Blake candidates. This wasn't photojournalism, it was a symphony of sorrow. Blake in designer sweats, clutching a coffee cup like it held the answers to life. Blake walking her dog, eyes locked on the horizon as if pondering the fate of civilization, or maybe just her next press release. The captions practically whispered, "Pity her, she's fragile."
Everyone in this room, because you're here, I know this about you. You've been gaslit to high heaven every time you've picked up a newspaper in the United States.
Naturally, speculation exploded. Was she finally regretting the lawsuit? Having an identity crisis? Or was this just Act 3 in the Blake Lively image rehabilitation tour? Either way, the drama kept selling.
People magazine is saying she does not regret starting this.
Even People magazine couldn't resist, chiming in with their usual anonymous whiplash. One source swore she was doubling down, more committed than ever. Another claimed she was crumbling behind the scenes. So which is it, folks? PR warrior or PR wreck?
You do the opposite and just imply, again, more toxic crap and negativity about anything this man does must have been to seek pleasure. I mean, you were so full of yourself, and this guy should sue her in a way.
And then there's Blake's favorite role of all, the selfless crusader. The noble woman on a mission to fix Hollywood. Admirable, sure, until you notice the curated outfits, the coordinated dog walks, the paps that just happen to be there. It's hard to sell sainthood when your halo's being lit by a professional glam team. If this is selflessness, then I'm a humanitarian icon for letting my roommate finish the last slice of pizza.